All right, strap in everyone, because today we are going deep into the legendary Problems in General Physics by IE Irodov. You're probably listening because you were prepping for some pretty intense physics exams, right? And you've heard the stories, the rumors about this book.
Oh, yeah. Irodov, it's infamous.
Infamous is right.
Yeah.
And that's why we are here today, to decode the Irodov mystique, right?
Yeah.
We are going to break down what makes this book so different from your average physics textbook. And why actually taking on these crazy challenges can really turn you into a physics powerhouse.
Yeah. You can think of it like almost like training for the physics Olympics or something. You got to push yourself to use these concepts in ways you wouldn't normally expect.
So almost like a secret weapon for your exams.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's address the elephant in the room. Why is Irodov considered so much harder than other physics textbooks? I mean, electromagnetism is already pretty complex, even in your standard textbooks.
Yeah.
What does Irodov do that's just so different?
It's all about pushing you beyond just plugging in numbers, I mean,
Yeah.
let's say you're doing a problem on electromagnetism. You might have to use not just Gauss's law or Faraday's law, but maybe both of those things together and visualize how the electric and magnetic fields are actually working together in 3D to solve that problem.
Oh, so almost like the difference between looking at a flat map and actually navigating a 3D world.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of 3D thinking that Yurdov forces you to do is crucial for, understanding these advanced concepts later on. Even stuff beyond your exams, in fields like antenna design.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's not just like learning harder material. It's about learning how to actually think differently about physics. Now, Irodov is famously divided into 5 parts, kind of like the 5 levels of a physics video game, right?
Ah,
So what are we facing in, let's say, level 1
yeah.
mechanics? What's going on there?
Yeah. Well, mechanics in Irodov isn't just about calculating basic motion, right? I mean, think of it more like, training for a physics marathon. You got to start by understanding those simple movements, but then, work your way up to tackling these really, really complex scenarios.
So we're not just talking about blocks sliding down inclines here.
No, no, no. Irodov takes it way further than that. I mean, imagine a system of pulleys with varying masses, some connected by strings, some, on rotating platforms, all sorts of crazy stuff. Irodov is going to force you to combine forces, energy, even rotational motion, all in one problem.
Okay, that sounds pretty intense. But I mean, isn't that kind of thinking valuable even outside of exams? Like for figuring out how to optimize, well, pretty much anything, really.
Absolutely. That's one of the kind of hidden benefits of Irodov. It's really training your brain to break down these complex systems into more manageable parts, right? That's a skill that you can use in pretty much any field.
Oh, yeah. So mechanics in Irodov is all about building those problem-solving muscles. All right, let's power up for level 2. What kind of challenges await us in the realm of electrodynamics?
Ooh, this is where Irodov really starts to, flex its muscles a little bit. It's going to require you to think about electricity and magnetism in a whole new light. You might have a problem where you've got a charged particle and it's moving through a region with both electric and magnetic fields, and you have to figure out its trajectory.
Okay, so that sounds incredibly complex. It's almost like trying to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle on a tightrope or something.
Uh-huh. It can feel that way at times, but that's really where Irodov's brilliance lies. It's going to force you to synthesize concepts, like Gauss's law and Faraday's law, and apply them in these really dynamic situations. And the math definitely gets tougher here. Vector calculus and differential equations. Those are going to become your new best friends.
So it's not just the concepts. It's having those mathematical tools to describe those concepts
Yeah.
in really complex situations, right? Almost like leveling up your physics toolkit.
Precisely. And the problem-solving strategies you develop in electrodynamics, those are going to be invaluable as you progress through the book and even beyond.
All right. We've powered through mechanics. We've powered through electrodynamics. It is time to face level 3, thermodynamics and kinetic theory. What is cooking in this section?
So this is where we really delve into the world of heat, temperature, energy transfer. But Irodov, doesn't just stop at those macroscopic concepts like engines and refrigerators. It takes you deep down into that microscopic realm of gas molecules. It forces you to connect, those tiny motions to the big picture behavior of thermodynamic systems.
Oh, so almost like zooming in from a satellite view of a city down to street level, where we can see how individual people's actions actually contribute to the overall flow of the city, right?
That's a great analogy. For example, You might have a problem where you're analyzing the efficiency of a heat engine by considering the collisions of individual gas molecules within the engine cylinder. It requires you to really bridge that gap between the microscopic and macroscopic worlds.
Oh, wow. It's fascinating how Irodov forces you to think on multiple scales like that. So it's not just about learning thermodynamics, it's about learning to think like a thermodynamicist.
Yeah.
All right, on to level 4, optics. What kind of insights will Irodov shed on this subject?
Optics in Irodov. This is where you really start to appreciate the elegance and the complexity of light. You're going to go way beyond basic reflection and refraction. We're talking about diving into the mind-bending world of interference, diffraction, all that good stuff.
Oh, so we're talking about the kind of phenomena that create those dazzling iridescent colors like on soap bubbles and butterfly wings. Stuff that looks like magic until you understand the physics behind it.
Exactly, exactly. Iridov is going to push you to think about light not just as these, simple rays, but as waves that can interact and interfere with each other, creating these really stunning patterns. You might, for example, have to analyze how light waves diffract through a narrow slit and create an interference pattern on a screen behind it.
Now, I remember from, basic physics classes, diffraction, it's all about how waves bend around obstacles.
Yeah.
But how does Irodov take that to the next level? What's different here?
Well, it really requires you to think about the wave nature of light in a much deeper way. So, for instance, you might have a problem involving a diffraction grating, which is basically a surface with thousands of tiny slits, right? And you have to calculate how the light waves interfere with each other after passing through, all those slits, resulting in a very specific diffraction pattern.
So we're not just calculating angles of reflection and refraction anymore. We're analyzing how waves interact with each other to create these entirely new patterns of light. That sounds like it requires a whole new way of thinking about optics.
It really does. And that's why, Iridov is so valuable, right? It forces you to confront those complexities of light, really grasp the underlying principles behind these phenomena that we often just kind of take for granted.
All right, so we've journeyed through mechanics, electrodynamics, thermodynamics, and even that intricate world of optics. Now we face, the final boss level of Irodov, modern physics. What mysteries await us in this realm?
Well, fasten your seatbelts because this is where things get really, really mind-bending. Modern physics in Irodov. It's all about grappling with the counterintuitive world of relativity and quantum mechanics. I mean, imagine a clock on a spaceship.
Right.
And it's moving at near the speed of light. For someone on Earth, that clock would actually run slower, and Irodov would make you calculate, exactly how much slower, which is it's mind-boggling, but also kind of beautiful.
Okay, my head is officially spinning. Time dilation, length contraction, wave-particle duality. These are concepts that, that seem to just defy our everyday experience, right? How does Irodov even begin to approach these topics?
Well, it starts by laying the foundational concepts of special relativity. It kind of guides you through, these problems that illustrate how time and space are really intertwined and how our perception of them changes at these high speeds. For instance, you might have a problem, where you need to calculate the length of a spaceship as observed by someone on Earth versus someone actually traveling inside the spaceship at these relativistic speeds.
So it's not just about memorizing those equations. It's
Yeah.
about understanding the profound implications of relativity,
Yeah.
on how we actually measure the universe. It's incredibly thought-provoking. But what about quantum mechanics? Isn't that even more abstract than relativity?
It is, but Yuridov tackles it in a way that really builds your intuition. It starts with basic concepts like wave-particle duality, right? This is why electrons can actually act like waves, which led to the development of things like electron microscopes.
Wait, so the same electrons that orbit atoms, they can also behave like waves? That's wild. I never really grasped that concept fully.
Yeah, it's a core principle of quantum mechanics. And and Irodov really helps you see that in action through its problems. So, for example, you might have a problem where you need to calculate the wavelength of an electron based on, its energy or momentum.
So Irodov isn't just about teaching us the equations of modern physics. It's giving us a taste of how these mind-boggling concepts actually play out in the real world.
Exactly, exactly. And the skills you develop in tackling these problems, critical thinking, abstract reasoning, the ability to connect these seemingly, disparate concepts. Those are all essential skills, not just for physics research, but for any field where analytical thinking is valued.
So it's not just about becoming, a better physicist. It's about becoming a better problem solver, period.
Precisely. Whether you're designing a bridge, developing a new algorithm, or even just troubleshooting a problem in your daily life, the kind of analytical thinking you hone with Irodov is going to serve you well.
I'm starting to see Irodov in a whole new light now. It's not just a book of, physics problems. It's a training ground for the mind.
I couldn't agree more. It's about developing a mindset that embraces challenges, seeks out creative solutions, and never stops questioning.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Irodov, what's the key takeaway, you want our listener to remember?
Irodov may seem daunting, right? But
Yeah.
it's a gift. It's a challenge that, if embraced, can really unlock a level of understanding and problem-solving ability you might not even know you possessed.
It's almost like a hidden treasure map leading to physics mastery. But before we send our listener off on this, epic quest, any final words of wisdom?
Just remember, physics isn't just about finding the right answers. It's about asking the right questions. So what questions does Irodov make you want to explore further?
That's such a powerful thought. It's not just about solving the problems in the book. It's about letting those problems spark new questions and lead you down new avenues of exploration.
Exactly. Irodov is almost like a springboard. It launches you into these deeper inquiries, and it helps you develop those skills to tackle those inquiries, head on.
I think that's a perfect note to end on. We've covered a lot of ground today, from deciphering that Irodov mystique to understanding the unique challenges and rewards each section of the book offers.
Yeah.
We even touch upon how tackling those challenges can really transform you, not just as a physics student, but as a thinker and a problem solver in really any field.
It's been a fascinating journey exploring the depths of Irodov with you. It's a book that holds a special place in the hearts of many physicists, and for good reason.
It's funny how a single book can evoke such a mix of awe and trepidation, in the physics community. It's almost like a rite of passage.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember feeling that same mix of emotions, when I first encountered Irodov. It was daunting. But there was also this undeniable allure. The challenge itself was part of the appeal.
It's like climbing a mountain.
Yeah.
It's hard work, but the view from the top is breathtaking. And the sense of accomplishment when you reach that summit is unlike anything else.
That's a perfect analogy. And just like climbing a mountain, tackling Irodov requires preparation, perseverance, and a willingness to embrace the struggle. There will be moments of frustration, but there will also be moments of, profound insight and satisfaction.
So for our listener out there who might be feeling a little intimidated by the Irodov challenge, what words of encouragement would you offer?
First and foremost, believe in yourself. You have the capacity to understand and solve these problems. Remember that every physicist who has tackled Irodov, they started right where you are now.
It's like that saying, the expert at anything was once a beginner.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to, ask for help. Talk to your professors, your classmates, even find online communities of students working through Irodov. Sometimes, just talking through a problem with someone else can really spark that aha moment.
And remember, it's not about speed. It's about understanding. Take your time, break down the problems and celebrate your victories, no matter how small they may seem.
Absolutely. Focus on the process, not just the outcome. The skills you develop along the way, those are just as valuable as the solutions themselves.
Well said. I think we've equipped our listener with everything they need to embark on their own Irodov adventure. It's a journey that will challenge them, push them to their limits, and ultimately reward them with a deeper understanding of the universe and themselves.
I couldn't agree more. So to our listener, we say this: embrace the challenge, ask those questions, and enjoy that incredible journey of discovery that awaits you within the pages of Irodov.
And remember, as always, keep diving deep into the fascinating world of physics.
Until next time.
Yeah, it really is. It's not just about solving the problems. It's about letting those problems spark those new questions. It kind of leads you down these new avenues of exploration.
Exactly. Iridov's like a springboard almost. It launches you into these deeper inquiries, and it helps you develop the skills to actually tackle those inquiries,
Yeah,
head on.
yeah. I think that's a perfect note to end on. We've covered a lot of ground today. From deciphering the Iridov mystique to understanding those unique challenges and rewards that each section of the book offers. We even touched upon how tackling those challenges can really transform you, not just as a physics student, but as a thinker and a problem solver in any field, really.
It's been a fascinating journey, exploring the depths of Iridov with you. It's a book that holds a very special place in the hearts of many physicists,
Yeah.
and for good reason.
It's funny how a single book can evoke such a mix of awe and trepidation, in the physics community. It's almost like a rite of passage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember feeling that same mix of emotions. When I first encountered Iridov, it was daunting, but there was this undeniable allure. The challenge itself was part of the appeal.
Yeah, it's like climbing a mountain, it's hard work, but the view from the top is just breathtaking. And that sense of accomplishment, when you reach that summit, it's unlike anything else.
That's a perfect analogy. And just like climbing a mountain, tackling Iridov, it requires that preparation, perseverance, and a willingness to really embrace the struggle. There will be moments of frustration, but there will also be moments of profound insight and satisfaction.
So for our listener out there, who might be feeling a little intimidated by the Iridov challenge, what words of encouragement would you offer?
First and foremost, believe in yourself. You have the capacity to understand and to solve these problems. Remember that every physicist who has tackled Iridov, they started right where you are now.
It's like that saying, the expert at anything was once a beginner.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for help, talk to your professors, talk to your classmates, even find online communities, of students working through Iridov. Sometimes just talking through a problem with someone else can spark that aha moment.
And remember, it's not about speed, it's about understanding. Take your time, break down the problems,
Yeah.
and celebrate your victories no matter how small they may seem.
Absolutely. Focus on the process, not just the outcome. The skills you develop along the way are just as valuable as the solutions themselves.
Well said. Well, I think we've equipped our listener with everything they need to embark on their own Iridov adventure.
Yeah.
It's a journey that will challenge them, push them to their limits, and ultimately reward them with a deeper understanding of the universe and themselves.
I couldn't agree more. To our listener, we say this: embrace the challenge, ask those questions, and enjoy that incredible journey of discovery that awaits you within the pages of Iridov.
And remember, as always, keep diving deep into the fascinating world of physics.
Until next time.